So, I am so excited. Y'all just got done watching the very first episode of Table Wars. So, one of the things that I am so excited about is I promised everybody that every single week after we get done with each episode, because I just didn't have enough TV time, that we would do kind of a bonus video. All right, so the one that I'm going to do for y'all today, I'm super excited about. So the very first challenge that they gave us, and Lord, it was a doozy. So the very first challenge that they gave us was a table for two to represent you and who you are, your brand, which Lord, we know it was going to be pink on pink on pink on pink. But I was super excited to get to do the table. As y'all saw, there were all kinds of hiccups. So many things went wrong. But my biggest pet peeve was that I didn't get the chairs I wanted. I had to fight and I still lost. I did not get my chairs. But you know what? That's what happens in a competition show, so it's totally fine. So one of the things that I wanted to do was show y'all what I would have made my chairs look like. And let's be real, it's a little over the top, but so am I. So I don't know if these would have actually paired perfectly to the table for two. But I'm just saying, if I would have had all the resources and I would have had all the things allotted to me, I would have made much more snazzier chairs. So let me talk to you about a couple of key elements that you probably saw. Yes, pink, pink, and pink, okay? It's very garden feeling, lots of pink roses. Of course, we had the most amazing accoutrements from TJ Maxx and Home Goods. So all of those pieces that you saw on my tabletop were from there. And then I had this beautiful pillow, yet again, that came from Home Goods that had butterflies on it. And that was a little nod to my beautiful baby girl, Isabella, because she loves butterflies. And I kind of imagined, as you heard, hopefully, me say on the show, that I really hoped that this would be like a little table for two, a little garden party, that maybe me and my daughter here in the South could have some tea, hang out, and have some fun. So what I've done is I've created a chair that I think would be perfectly matched with the table that I created. So now that I'm back here in my studio with all of the resources allotted to me, let me show you exactly how I made it. All right, so first of all, this lovely chair. This chair has been hanging out in my studio, in my warehouse, for a hot minute, okay? This was probably my very first desk chair. My fabulous mother and I made it. Yes, we did. So I'm not gonna lie, I got a little overzealous when I decided about this idea. We have two chairs, and the one that I was going to design on, I kind of got a little carried away and already covered. So we're just gonna pretend like this is blue with some spray paint on it and all crapped up, because that's what the chair looks like. So I had to use the other chair, okay? This is the actual one that was all through my office. But so it's already covered. Just pretend, okay? Just use your imagination. You're watching me cover it, okay? So first of all, what I did is, this is just a good wooden chair. It has, we didn't even take the batting or the foam or any of the texture off the back. We just covered right on top of it with this super snazzy, like, pink python print, okay? So first thing we gotta do is we gotta spray paint. All right. No good craft job you can accomplish without spray paint, okay? You've got to have it. It is a necessity. I use so much spray paint, everybody says I should have my own line. So, woo, I got a little carried away. So that's first, but as to not get this beautiful pink python print with some white spray paint on it, I'm going to go ahead and cover it with our trusty trash bag. The key to spray painting something properly is making sure that it is shook, okay? Gotta be shook. Gotta shake it, all right? I think it's one of those, like,
Shake and bake.
Yeah, but what was that?
Weight.
The shake weight. Okay, you can see how my fat jiggling. Y'all don't stare, okay? So it's gotta be shaken very, 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 very well. And you're gonna do it multiple times and then go back. let me show you what it looks like when it's done. So we've got it all done and ready for you to go. It's now been fully painted. It's dried. We didn't put any like lacquer or anything crazy on top of it, but we have already gone ahead and covered it with the fabric. Remember what I said earlier? Got a little carried away, so don't judge me. I'm gonna show you exactly how I done it, but let's go ahead and get started. There's a couple of new additions to it. One, a wire arch, and two, a few silks. So don't get your panties in the water too much, because I'm going to show you exactly how I did that too, okay? So voila, all right? So now, after it's been painted, everything's ready to go. We're going to pull this off. All right, I'm going to get that out of the way. Oh, look, there's my snippers. I was looking for those. So I went ahead and just pinned up the extra fabric to make it look like a really snazzy pillow, so that y'all could see the piece of fabric that I used. We just used some pearl tip pins that you would find in a normal floral wholesale house. And we actually cut it, pinned it across the bottom, tucked it in, pinned it across the sides, scooted it in here, pinned it up each one of the sides, because this has got like a foam backing, so it allows us to pin it. Why did I pin it? Okay, so you probably don't want to pin it if you're trying to make it permanent. I am not. I love this fabric, and I was not quite ready to cut it all up and use every single piece of it. So we just pinned it. This is what you have to do when you need to do things that I call shuzhing. We're shuzhing them. Okay, we're making shuzhed things. Okay, so it's just pinned. And then let me show you what we did to the top. All right, so we took what we have in our shop, a trusty funeral stand. Yep, that's quite depressing, but that is what it is, because it was really good heavy gauged wire. We chopped it apart. Once we chopped it apart, what did we do? We curved it, okay? So, me and all my human strength, all by myself. I didn't need any help. That's such a lie. I had to use me and like 2 other people, but we took a piece of that steel and we curved it just the right way, that then it made our beautiful arch. Do you see that beautifulness right there on top of it? Okay, so I just showed you how we made the beautiful arch. Now let's go through a couple of the massive, amazing pieces that I used. A lot of this came from Home Goods. So let me show you kind of some of the tools that you're gonna need, and then I'm gonna get to designing and y'all can watch. All right, first things first, we're gonna use these giant foam flowers. Those are pretty amazing, okay? Those right there. Lots of silk flowers. I just happen to be an event floral designer, so I had these just hanging out, okay? You're gonna need glue and glitter. Never do anything without glitter, okay? You're gonna need snippers, and you're gonna need Oasis cold glue. This is what I'm gonna be using to put the flowers on, and then this is what I'm gonna be using to cut them. Of course, they're pink. Oh, I'm the queen of pink. All right, also, you wanna get real high tech and make what I'm making, you need to get you some Oasis foam and zip ties. I mean, this is literally almost as important as pink and glitter. You gotta have zip ties. It's like duct tape, it fixes everything. All right, so before we get started with the designing, and it's gonna get sped up just a little bit, I wanted to let you know, I did spray this beautiful arch. Okay, sprayed it with the same spray paint, but while it was wet, I went over it with all that amazing glitter I showed you. I used an AB iridescent, and then I used a bigger glitter that was a larger, clear glitter. So I used the 2 of them to give it a little bit of a texture. And then you see I've got a couple butterflies already on there. So, but I'm gonna show you how to adhere those too. All right, so let's get these puppies glued on. I use pan glue, okay? I'll use Oasis pan glue, which is basically an electric skillet with some glue inside of it. So we're gonna glue these on, and then I'm gonna show you how to put the silks on. right, I'm not gonna lie. This is so weird. I met some of my most favorite human beings that I have ever met in my whole entire life while working on Table Wars. And one of my favorite people, oh my God, was Dan. Dan the Dancing Man was the one that was always up in my face with the microphone being like, CeCe, are you getting worried? How's your time? How do you feel? What's gonna happen? Okay, so I don't know how to do this design without him up all in my grill. Like, it feels very weird. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. But like, him and James, love y'all, were some of my favorite humans. So like, him not here asking me how I feel about what I'm doing and watching everything. Well, everything's not falling apart right now, but some things did on the show, but you'll see that later on. Okay, so all right, let me get back to it. All right, y'all ready to start this again? Let's add some silk flowers. You know what's super cool about silk flowers is that their insides, their guts are wires, okay? So that means that they're very malleable. So let me show you what I did with them. All right, I took a whole bunch of them. Already. Remember I told you about those zip ties, how important the zip ties were? And I just zip tied a bunch of them right here. But remember this wire that I showed you that I attached? That is a great foundation to kind of run these through, okay? So look, so they have wire in them, so this is what you can do to them if you want to do that. But we don't want to do that. That would be bad. Okay. What I did right there is I noticed that one of the stems were sticking out. One of my favorite sayings from the show that I know Martha and Tamara especially loved were cover your panties, okay? This is one of my favorite things to say. And what that means is I don't want to see your work. I don't want to see how the magician did the trick, okay? I just want to be mesmerized. So when you see sticks, like the bottom of the silks sticking out, or I know y'all see that fabulous green oasis down there. If I weren't to fully cover that, then that would be showing my panties. And that is not what a nice, sweet Southern girl does. Don't show your panties, all right? I don't want to see your panties in your work. So that was definitely a super fun jaw dropping moment on the show. And I told everybody that that was so important to me to cover my panties. God bless Martha's face, okay? But Tamara, you know we had fun. Chris loved it too, but I'm just saying, the two ladies, we had a party, okay? So I am super serious about making sure my panties are covered. You saw the table that I made on the show. The way that those legs came to be, these floral legs that held up the tabletop, was that I had to wrap them with this god-awful silver chicken wire, okay? And so then I had to weave the flowers through that. One of the things that I didn't think about is, was I gonna have enough flowers to cover all of that, okay? Well, thank God I made it work, like my favorite Tim Gunn saying. But that was a huge deal for me to get all of that chicken wire covered, because I didn't want any of the judges, I didn't want Chris, Tamara, Martha, any of them to be able to say they saw my panties, all right? So we gotta cover my panties. Always cover your panties. All right. if all of your flowers are properly hydrated, they should last for a day, maybe 2, depending on what kind they are. But this is not for real. It's for y'all, and it's just to make some fun, so they don't have to be watered. Show is that I was the only floral designer, and a lot of people think that it's so easy to do flowers, but it is so unlike anything else in the world. Think about it. Most men know how to use power tools. I ain't being judgy, women do too. I'm just saying, like, that's a common thing. Most people understand how to use some spray paint. Most people understand how to use color theory, but not everybody understands the proper care and handling of flowers. So God bless them, love them, but they just had flowers, and some of them weren't in good shape, some of them were in good shape, but I had to spend time that sometimes other people don't have to spend cleaning up my flowers, because Lord knows I ain't gonna let Martha see any rotten flowers. And so one of the things that I kind of had to deal with, but also glad I had to, because that means I have knowledge of a floral designer, was taking, even though I was on a timed challenge for a TV show, still doing proper care and making sure that every single one of my blooms looked stunning was still something that I did all throughout. I still had to process my flowers during the time, get the thorns off, get the leaves off, get all the yuck off. So maybe I wasn't off using some power saws and some drills and some ziggity zag things, which clearly y'all see that that's not my forte. I was spending time really priming my flowers and making sure that they look the best for each challenge. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do down here on the back side. One of the other things, so I always say cover your panties. I'm going to get to the other one, but you always want to make sure that when you're designing something, it's three-dimensional. Even though this is just for like an after show of a TV show, of a show that we've already done, I still want to make sure that I show it to you in reality, okay? So you want to make sure that this is pretty all the way around. So I'm doing it like I would do it in real life. So I always want to make sure that even though I'm putting all this beauty right here, that I want to balance it out. So I'm going to put another piece of smaller oasis, because it's going to be just an accent, not necessarily like a whole zhuzh like I did over here, on the back side. All right, so I know I kind of teased y'all with my other saying. There's a lot of them, but one of my other favorite sayings, and probably the first one, right out the gates, I decided to get out of my mouth to just floor everybody, was one of the things that I say all the time about how I like to see my roses. Martha, Tamara, and Chris walked up and they asked me what exactly I was doing to my roses, and I'll show you the process of it in just a minute. And when they asked me, just because I'm so just always in the moment and didn't quite think about it, and I probably would have edited it to my husband and family chagrin, I did not. But they asked me what I was doing, and I said that I was reflexing and expanding my roses. And why was I doing that, they asked. They asked because I do not design with bullets or buttholes. Yes, I told Martha that, and that about made her fall out on the floor. So what does that mean? So this right here, this is a bullet. This is actually a very good bullet slash butthole. This is what a rose looks like when it first comes in an extreme. So they look like little bullets, or they look like little buttholes, okay? So to not have these, what we do, okay, to not have these, we put them in warm water. We let them get all nice. We like to say that we warm up the bed for them. We get a little mood music going on. Make them feel good and warm and cozy. And then we spin them, okay? When we spin them, this is what happens. And when we spin them, after we've done it a couple of times, then they are no longer bullets and buttholes. They are now these gorgeous, gorgeous, opened, beautiful roses. You see that? And so what we do when we reflex them is we take them and we bend their petals back. This is called reflexing a rose. This is why we don't use bullets and buttholes. Sorry, Martha. Sorry, Tamara. Sorry, Chris. But look, this is the difference. So it was super fun explaining that to them. There's another one. Y'all see these in my promo shot. These are my favorite. Wonder why? Because they're Pink Floyds. So let's get to using them. Okay, so one of the tips to when I design flowers, I think the key is to make it look like a natural growth pattern. So if you'll see what I did right here, they start tall and then they kind of shorten up just a little bit because I want it to look like it grew up this side of the chair. All right, so now I'm gonna try to finish up all of the larger side and then we're gonna move to the smaller side. So let's add these beauties in. I mean, look at that. Look at the center of that, guys. Isn't it pretty? Okay, so I got that side done. So now I'm gonna go work on this anchoring piece right over here, and we are almost done. When you take multiple carnations and you pack them all together, it does kind of give the illusion that it's a hydrangea. So I think that's why I can make peace with them. All right, remember I showed you earlier the whole reflexing? Love the reflex is that's kind of song, but you know. Ah, look how beautiful they are. Guys, it just doesn't get any. I mean, why would you want a bullet or a butthole when can kind of be not hard, but flowers are very durable. So I can kind of will them to my way most of the time. They will bruise. So you do have to be a little careful of that, but I know you're thinking under the chair. Why are you under the chair? But you can see it. So I still got to make sure that the design carries all the way around and makes sense. Okay, so now I'm done with all the flowers and it's time to add my most favorite part, the butterflies. Okay, so remember I was talking about the butterflies and they were the theme and my daughter loved them. And this was all about, the challenge was about show your style and what represents you and your brand. And it needed to be a table for two. So, butterflies represent my beautiful baby girl, Isabella. Guess what represents me? Oh, yes! All of the pink on pink on pink on pink on pink. Okay, because that's my signature color. My color is a blush and bashful. No, your colors are pink and pink. All right, so pink, 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 pink is representing me and gardening and flowing and of course extra. Hello. You don't have the chair like this all the, you know what I mean? That is so symbolic of who I am. And it's for what I think is like a fun outdoor garden party for two, all right, in the South. So let's attach the butterflies and then I think we're gonna be done. All right, so as we add all of our beautiful butterflies in, see just a couple little fidgety things that I see because I'm such a perfectionist. Alright, so I'm even so detail oriented to the fact that, I mean, butterflies kind of fly up, right? So they need to be, most of them angling up. That little guy isn't. He's kind of going down. But that's fine. I feel like that's fine. Alright. A couple of last few little checks. Ooh. Okay. And this is where I talk about, this is where the biggest cover your panties check comes in. It's like right when I'm done. I like to go through and double check everything, make sure that you cannot see any of my panties showing, that It looks good from afar. But let's take a step back. Well, I ain't mad at it. I do totally feel like it is a chair fit for a garden party princess. Really probably would have been done, you know, at least a good 20 minutes ago if I wasn't such a dang perfectionist. But can you imagine being on the show with Martha freaking Stewart? I mean, God, you're gonna be a perfectionist, okay? So, all right. So I hope y'all enjoyed it, guys. Yay! You just got done watching the very first episode of Table Wars. I am so excited that I was a part of it, y'all. It is a dream come true. The staff, everybody I worked with, they were so amazing. Love you, all of my favorite humans, but especially Martha Stewart. What? Tamara Mowry. What? And my favorite little sexy man, Chris. You know, I love you. All right. So I hope you enjoyed not only the very first episode of Table Wars, but I hope that you enjoyed watching what I would have done if I would have had, I mean, like a chair, 2 more hours, all my flowers processed, and some more amazing items that I could have used from Home Goods. So I will leave you finally with a chair fit for a queen that can also be paired with my amazing table for 2 that I did on Table Wars. Hope you enjoyed watching me, guys. I can't wait to see you next week.